Hi, guys. It's Stephanie. I don't know about you, but when I first became a leader, there was no such thing as training on how to be a leader, not even how to be a boss. I learned some HR things about time cards and making sure people got their lunch breaks and rest breaks. Sure, there was all the HR stuff. There was no mentor, there was no coach to tell me what the difference was between being my individual contributor self and being a leader of other people. If you're getting some training and coaching and mentorship at your company, I love it. And that's amazing. When I started at my next company, straight into a leadership role, I had a brand new team of people, all new colleagues. I didn't know any of them, and I didn't know what they did. I didn't again have some manual. I didn't go in with some strategy, like, I know what I'm gonna do to make sure I'm the best leader ever. I'm gonna follow XYZ strategy, or I'm gonna follow these 10 steps on what to do. I didn't have that in place. In fact, I wasn't sure what I was going to do and how I was going to convince them to let me be their leader and to show my boss that I could be a good leader. I did have an intention. I was intentional about the fact that I wanted to succeed and that I wanted my team to succeed. I also subconsciously knew what I didn't want to do as a leader. Call me judgmental, but I had picked apart all of my past bosses and the things that they did that I made sure I did not want to do as a leader. That story's for another day. So I go in, meet this brand new team, and I try not to make a bunch of changes because all I knew when I joined from what my leadership told me was that this team had some low morale, some turnover. They weren't feeling it. So I wasn't going to go in there and tell some amazing story of how we were going to be the best amazing team ever. I went in to meet them where they were and see what we could do. Fast forward 1 year later, a manager from another team approached me. He had been there when my team had their previous leader, during the gap in time where that leader had left, and saw my transition from me coming in and taking over. His own backstory was that he had started as an individual contributor at this company and been promoted into his first leadership role here. But he also didn't get any training on how to be a leader. No coaching, mentoring, how to guide, nothing. He came to me because he noticed from the time I had gotten there to now a change in the people on my team, in the quality of work and the output of work they were producing. His team worked very closely with people on my team. And so he noticed the change in attitude, the level of collaboration, the morale improvement, the reversal in burnout and major stress that my people were experiencing. I saw it from my perspective, but it was really, really nice and enlightening to hear it from his perspective. His concern was that that was not occurring on his team. He didn't know what he didn't know. But he wasn't afraid to come ask me, Stephanie, what are you doing differently? He says, I've looked at the other leaders around and I tried to mimic what I thought they were doing, but it's not working on my team. He was still experiencing a team of stress and burnout, turnover, low morale, and it showed. But he didn't know what to do until I had shown up. When he asked me the first time what I was doing differently, I honestly didn't know because I wasn't following some strategy or 10-step plan. I was doing what I thought any good leader would do. But I did know I wasn't doing all those things that me judging my past managers as a bad boss, I wasn't doing what they had done. So we talked and I tried to figure it out and I tried to put it in words, but I still wasn't sure what I had necessarily done to be a different leader. I told him about things that I had introduced for the team, what I thought was just laying a groundwork of meeting them for the first time, getting to know them, and setting some basic expectations. I had talked to them about the harassment training that I had gone through. And I used that as the discussion point for the team, kind of to set expectations of how I wanted to make sure we were treating each other and how we were treating other teams. I also had gone to a presentation outside of work for an emotional intelligence. And I really liked the program so much that I brought it back and shared my notes with the team. I got so much great feedback from them that they liked it so much that they took the notes, the presentation materials, and they took it home to their families and discussed it over dinner. I thought that was amazing. So every single year, we did this recurring. We would have a discussion about harassment in the workplace and another discussion as a team about emotional intelligence. And it was just something that we liked to do and talk about. And at first I thought, "Oh my gosh, they probably think I'm nuts. This is soft skills. They're not going to like it, right?" Well, I found out years later, one of the gentlemen who left my team contacted me and said, "I really miss the discussions about emotional intelligence." And that touched me, especially because he was a male in a technical role. That meant the world to me. So I knew we were on the right track. We were doing something right. But I still wasn't sure if that was all the difference. We still had to produce work, we still had to meet tight deadlines, all of those things. So I started paying more attention to the words my team used when they talked every year about what were we going to do as a team to make improvements. Because I don't know about you, but January 1st is supposed to be the time we make personal goals, we do reflection on the past, say, what do we want to leave behind? What do we want to change? What do we want to improve? And I had those discussions with my team. I thought, well, heck, we should do that in the workplace too. This is a perfect time of year. We were coming out of our busy season. So, January into February, we would talk about what did we do last year that we liked, that we want to continue doing? What maybe isn't going so well? And we just made a list. It wasn't we were going to solve it and change the world that day. What should we work on this year? What should we change? Or did we implement anything last year that we were like, yeah, maybe not? So we would just change things and we would try things. And I would keep a running list and we'd revisit it throughout the year and see how we were doing. Over time, the things they brought to me were our team is great at this, but that team over there, they're not so good at that. Can you go teach them how to be better at that? And so we would start talking about how other teams treated us and yet how we were treating other teams. Because I had set those expectations that I and we would treat others with civility, with emotional intelligence. And since other teams were having those conversations, it started to become more obvious when we weren't being treated in that way. So when I started hearing their words, I started realizing that's the difference. That's what I'm doing differently as a leader, not just a boss. One, I'm not treating them like widgets. Just produce your work and go home. Hit your numbers and go home. I don't care what's going on in your world, in your life, at work, just get it done. That's not how I treated them. And that's not how I expected them to treat anybody else or each other. Instead, I was human. I made mistakes. I opened up to them. I told them about my downfalls, where I was trying to improve. I treated them like human beings. Heart, head, mind, soul, the whole thing. It was okay to make mistakes. We would learn from them. It was okay to know that something was going on at home and you needed a little extra time this week or a little help or a little extra patience. We had those conversations, sometimes just in one-on-one. Some people were more open about it and had the whole team know what was going on in their life. And the more we did that, the more we were all human to each other. And when you realize that it's just another human being, that while I might have a title that means you report to me, you're still equal to me. I'm equal to you. That made all the difference in the world. That's what I hope for you as a leader, to bring that level to your organization, to your team, to your leadership style. The word servant leadership originated back in 1970. And I've read books about servant leadership over many years. It's 2023 today. Where is servant leadership? I hear the term thrown around a lot, but by now I thought I would start seeing it more often. I know it's out there. I know there are other wonderful leaders practicing servant leadership, bringing soft skills into the workplace, treating other people like human beings. But there are also so many who are not. And I know there is still many, many, many instances where brand new leaders are not getting any support or training when they're coming from that individual contributor role to being a leader. And instead of being a leader, they're just being a boss because they don't know how. My mission is that no new leader would have that happen to them. My bigger mission is that everybody deserves a great leader. Whether you're a leader and you don't have a great leader, or you're an individual contributor who doesn't have a great leader, that needs to stop. Every team deserves a great leader. I want you to be that great leader. If you're looking for something, you need some help, you need some guidance, I'm creating an academy called the Empowered Leaders Academy. I would love to have you come check it out. We will be supporting each other. We will be going through trainings together. We will just discuss and talk as human beings and see how we can help each other, because together we are stronger. I also have one-on-one coaching if that's what you're interested in. Or just check out my website, empoweredleaders.academy. There's events happening all the time. You might just join one or two of those. I might even have a free live stream coming up, or a free this or free that. Sign up for my newsletter. It comes out twice a month on Tuesdays with great leadership tips or just some reminders to you about what to be focusing on, along with some just insights and whatever's going on in my world. So check out all of those things. And if you're a brand new leader or just getting ready to be promoted into your first leadership role, there's a free checklist out there for you to download. And it's going to walk you through the first 90 days of your new leadership role. Just some ideas and tips and tricks that, after looking back, I think would really help you. I hope that some of that will help you out. If nothing else, find a mentor out there. Find your colleagues who are also new leaders, build that support system because, again, together we are stronger. And I wish you all the best.